What is this? A PlayStation 1 game released in 2020? Back in '97, a couple of homegrown Japanese developers called Kaiga created Magic Castle using the NetEurose platform, and it was never released, until now. They approached several publishers but none were interested. The source code was found, the game was completed and released on the Internet Archive. Obviously, and sadly, this never got a physical version, but it is perfectly compatible with emulators, including the PlayStation Classic, which is how I'm bringing it to you today.
このゲームは魔法の城を探検するファンタジーアクション RPG です。
But they did include the original VHS promo which they sent to publishers, which is in Japanese and it can't be skipped. I mean at all. It loops when it's over and you have to reset the console to get back to the main menu.
In another time, in another world, a treasure laid hidden within a magic castle ruled by an evil lord, who turned stolen riches into an army of monsters. More than 20 years ago, 4 raiders joined forces against this tyrant, and set on a quest to assault the fortress and locate the treasure. Their story has remained untold until now.
Magic Castle is a roguelike fantasy dungeon crawler, which was ahead of its time in 1997. The castle in question is navigated through procedurally generated rooms, making each playthrough different. Choose your character class of knight, wizard, fighter and archer, and venture forth. Explore every room and around every corner, for danger lurks and there's treasure to be had. I think this evil lord made this castle too magic. There's no rhyme or reason to these rooms. Maybe there's a deep pit, maybe there's some steps to nowhere, a grand piano here and there, vines up to high places, probably because those stairs aren't doing their job. This castle's laid out like a 5-year-old's Minecraft build, and no map because, again, procedurally generated. This has a unique feature for a game of this age, a customizable head-up display. It can be moved to all 4 corners and sides to your liking, and if you pause the game, you can interrupt it and make it stay where you like. The knight uses a sword with questionable reach. Magic Castle uses the old method of having 2D sprites always face the camera. This means judging the enemy's position can be a little bit hit and miss, resulting in a mix of hits and misses. The wizard, who I've personally gone on the best with, uses a staff which has about the same reach as the sword, but with the added bonus of magic. Finding a fire ring, for example, will add a fire projectile. Very useful, but not infinite. This is where the SP meter comes in. The enemies have very basic AI which can be taken advantage of. Funnel them all into a conga line and spam your attack as they line up for death. That's if the enemies behave. Some jump around annoyingly, which is where the archer can fall short. Like in real life, arrows will drop with gravity. Holding down the attack button will increase that attack. This makes combat trickier as more preparation is required, and by the time you've got your shot ready, these jumpy rabbit bastard things will have gone out of your line of attack. So let's try punching them instead with the fighter. This guy's pretty straightforward, punch and kick enemies. When it comes to sheer combat, the fighter is the most immediate, shall we say. The other 3 feel slightly disconnected. The fighter is straight up in their faces with a precise foot in the junk. To advance to the next floor, a key needs to be found. 1 enemy per floor has this key, and it's up to you to trudge through this castle of confusion to find it. Once found, it also bounces around annoyingly. Oh no, you don't just walk or jump into it, you hit it of course, just like real keys. Keep ascending, or descending, I don't know which way it goes, into progressively harder floors. So, what happens when you die? It's game over and it's right back to the start menu. Yep, no lives or checkpoints. Choose your player, enter an arbitrary part of the castle, and off you go again, champ. Try again. Challenging this gets. Magic Castle increases its difficulty by ever increasing the number of enemies, therefore making finding the key harder. Well, a bit of a shorter one this month, but I did want to cover this when I learnt about it. This isn't a long game by any stretch. The longevity comes from its difficulty. I did consider making this an additional at first, but there's enough here to kinda make it into a full review. I could have named this video NetEurose Part 3, but that would mean going back and renaming the previous 2, and I don't really want to George Lucas this channel. Along with Terra Incognita, Magic Castle is definitely a title worthy of a standalone release. It's not the biggest game ever, but good enough for what could have been a budget title. For a small team, this is well made. It's challenging and has replay value. It's free of course, and a link to the ISO is in the description if you want to check it out for yourself.